The S&P 500 daily cloud chart shows that price should open within the cloud for this morning on the 7th. Bottom of the cloud is at 4337.24, and price in the pre-market hours for the S&P 500 at 6:26 a.m. Central Time on the 7th is 43.57, and the weekly S&P 500 shows the weekly 2018 broadening top in dashed red, very close to where the bottom of the cloud is in current price, and this weekly 2018 broadening top in dashed red for today is at 43.3722. Right there at the bottom of the cloud, 43.37.24 should be okay resistance. And to start the day, support 2 is at 43.37.23. So they're all right together to start the day and should be okay support. And continue blasting off into outer space to the upside. The weekly diamond bottom line in purple right here above the dashed red line is at 43.85.35, and right above that weekly diamond bottom line 2 is the disqualified by TDST 43.93.57, and this once qualified supply line should have been qualified on confirmed on this bar right here, as there was an open higher than this close, and it ticked higher than the high, which is not required, and it for sure closed above the close of the previous bar. So this should have been qualified and confirmed. It's qualified canceled, and I have a support ticket in with the mark. And the current levels for lines are giving erroneous readings. So this first one here is at 43.74.65, and it looks like price would need to gap up and open above it. So it could gap up slightly, as the high is 43.72.21, and the ongoing supply line is at 43.74.65. It's kind of doubtful though, so it needs to open above that supply line and close above it to get qualified. And price is still right in the middle of the 50 simple moving average to the bottom, 43.46.84, and the 100 simple moving average to the top, 44.03.20. And the top of the cloud for today is at 44.11.46. And I know that there's several $1 trillion on the sideline waiting to get dumped into the markets, but closing above the upper Stark band 3 days in a row is stretching it a bit here, so it definitely needs a pause or a pullback. If we go sideways, things could straighten out just in time for the CPI report for next Tuesday on the 14th. So price could be cruising around within the cloud for a while, and 26 bars forward looks like this. So it goes sideways for a while and then starts taking a downwards trajectory here, but that's well into the future. And it's not unheard of to have price closing above the channel 3 high for up to 5 days in a row, but after that it's really stretched. So either the upper Stark band will get above price, or price will get below the upper Stark band, but it could stay above the channel 3 high, which for today is at 43.17.44. And the mid Bollinger Band is right on top of the baseline and current price, 4248.67. Mid-band 4253.01. And the conversion line is still under the baseline going sideways. So until the conversion line gets above the baseline, the second stage of the racket won't blast off until then. So we really need to get this above the baseline for the conversion line. And the upper Bollinger Band is at 4417.86, so I see us cruising around in the cloud for a little while at least. QQE is really headed up. What a move that was, just blasted off right above the slow QQE, reflecting price over here. And in light blue here is the 20 simple moving average, 4276.14. It's pointed up. And the 50 simple moving average is still slightly pointed down in a downwards trajectory, so there could be a crossover of the 20 simple above the 50 simple soon. And the ATM trigger, slow trigger, is just about to get up to the overbought line. The fast trigger up is still up there in pointed green, so it's in good shape. It can stay up there for several days. So let's see if we can get the slow trigger above the overbought. And the pressure up is still at -2, and chart lines long-term oversold up is giving the indication that it's going to stay down there in the up 2.0 negative. And we ain't going nowhere until the Shande momentum indicator starts looking like this. Let's get above 0 in a decisive manner and start heading up. This refuses to get into the positive territory, even though there's been some pretty good up closes. So this is somewhat concerning here. And it looks like this time was different for the ATM exhaustion alert up, as prior indications were indications of going sideways for 8 bars. So this one's been about 6 bars. So a couple more bars and this ATM exhaustion alert will be exhausted. And DM1 is still in between the oversold and overbought. Don't like to see that. We want this one and RAC to be above their overbought and see this come down and seek neutral for the REI, neutral 0. And then let's see what happens. But with this right in the middle, it has a threat of going back under the oversold, and that would be a very bad sign. DMI plus is pointed down slightly, but still well above the DMI minus down here.